what's up, guys? Apparently all my stuff is jacked for some reason, so it's gonna be a second while I fix it, if it can be fixed, just so you know. So strange. Huh. So evidently it's not possible to detect one of my webcams that is very clearly plugged in and working just fine today, this week. Alright, I guess here's what we're gonna do. So many issues. Why so many issues, people? Hi. God. What's up, hippie face? Yeah, I remember you. Oh, Lord. We're gonna get it. We're gonna defeat all problems. I promise. Sometime in my life. So what we'll do is we'll take the one webcam that actually works today for some strange reason. We'll plug it in and we'll hope that it doesn't get caught in the spinning wheel. God damn, this is just not a good situation. We'll have to do this. Maybe. How's that? How's this? What are the options, y'all? Good Lord. Okay, let's check a few things. Do we have audio? If we have audio, is it acceptable? I know that there's going to be like a 10-second duration here. Okay, audio is acceptable. Cool. We're going to move on. I'll probably have to add audio in the next scene too. Check 1, 2. Okay, we should now have audio here as well. Alright. Alright, we should now be good. Pretty sure we're good. I don't understand why, despite making 0 changes to my system, sometimes it works and sometimes it does not. White noise, that, try to fix that. That any. Oh boy. Alright, that give me a. Having any different stuff on our audio now? I'm playing Assetto. Or in this, not fixed. Anybody else? Izzy Knight, how's it going? Every time I try to do an open world content on live stream, every little thing. Well, I mean, unless you want me to take a half an hour and cut the stream, start recording offline stuff and back the recording so it's happening. Put a noise gate on it. Cam isn't even working. Oh, which? Get it. This. Cameras actually in here. What day? Sorry I was late. One of my family members is sick and was barfing all over the house. Helping them out. And now that that is done, of course the stream is not going to work, even though I've done nothing to it and it worked perfectly. Gotten thing. I don't have any game noise playing. That's not as the cars in. There you go. Now this is. Let's see. They're coming from the. That's just a pain. Turn that off. Turn that off. Okay. Hopefully that'll get it. We are building the stream as we go, and I'm okay with it. I don't have a ton of expectations in life. It can be something you build as you go. It always is. Okay, I figured out what it was. One of my other mics that I'm not trying to use right now have gotten turned back on. Oh goodness. Alright. What a world, folks. Welcome to probably the most technically difficult stream I've had in all of 2021. Let's actually drive a little bit. God. I know you guys have been waiting for like 1,000 years for anything to actually happen on here, so thank you for that. I'm not gonna make you wait. Once I can get a little bit of actual content going, I will hang with chat a little bit more, but you guys have been waiting for so long. Okay, it works. We have chat, we have cameras. Let's try to do some driving. We are at LA Canyons. LA Canyons is a cool free roam map. I'm gonna take you outside of my car and show it to you real quick. We are at Mount Lawler. LA Canyons is a humongous, absolutely humongous mod by Phoenix. Very cool stuff. And it's the literal canyons of Los Angeles area. Very cool roads, very fun to drive. Fairly one-dimensional in terms of the, track. There's not like a ton of side streets or anything like that. And today, we are going right through the earth. We are driving World Drift Tour 2020 cars. These are 1,000 horsepower Pro Spec drift cars. I'm in this red FT86 or BRZ. We've got BMWs, S15s, we've got Corvettes. We also have an R34 and a 180SX Skyline somewhere. So, that's kind of the gist for what we are doing and where we are. I'm not necessarily going to try to drift all the corners on the track. We're just going to hang out. We're just going to drive. I'm sure some people are going to yeet themselves right off the track, which is going to be hilarious. Hopefully it won't be me. It probably will be. Full disclosure. And yeah, we're just going to cruise. Do a little drifting, do a little speed stuff. I might try to grip in these drift cars. You never know. Alright, everybody who was trying to get me to chat with you a second ago, my apologies. We're back to our usual broadcast, so while I cruise, by all means, let me know what's up. Will I try out GTA 5M? It's a great question. I don't have it on my radar at the second, but I've got plenty of stuff going on, so I'd love to at some point in the undefined future. I just don't know when that'll be. No car audio. Will anybody confirm whether or not that is true? It was totally fine earlier. No audio. Lovely. That's 100% impossible. I see the audio reading right here. Can't hear the car. Well, guys, I don't know what to tell you. Alright. I did not do a damn thing to the desktop audio. And it was working earlier unless the entire chat lied to me. Fine, I'll kill the music. Sprinkles, for real? Okay. God, you fucking... You know what? I'm just gonna drive, and you guys can enjoy watching. How about that? Alright, so I've not actually driven this at all. I've legitimately never even seen this mod. I downloaded it. Actually, Phoenix sent it to me, and I wanted to scope it out. I just never had the chance to. So I have been wanting to give it a go for a while. I was curious too how it was going to react. We've got 22 drivers in here out of 32 total slots that are available. How to join is located in the Discord. Some folks said that there were some vibrations on the track, which is a thing you tend to get from big maps. But it feels pretty good to me. I'm sure the roads are a little bit bumpy. This would be so impossible to sight read. Some folks chilling. Gonna come down to second gear here. See what these two are up to. We've got a Corvette, a BMW. Looks like they're just cruising. Got Javon and Damu. And I'm just going to follow them and see what happens here. Squirrely. Julian, my IRL car is coming along okay. I did some work in the garage recently. Nice 180 there. Smoky Bear with some smoky tires. There's some drifty. Good times. I got my turbo turned down. I don't even know if the car will drift right now. Guess we can find out. Yeah, it doesn't have the power. Turn that up a little bit. Oh, yikes, rip. Yeah, these cars are so hard to drive at less than a solid amount of power. But I also don't want to drive them at that much power, it'll just make it difficult. Nope. Instant death. It's not terrible, but it's pretty hard. Not knowing how each corner goes and having my webcam right in the middle of where I need to be able to see where I'm going because of stream difficulties today. Teleporting to pits on this map sucks too because it's going to take like 10 minutes to get back wherever you started. Even though we're in a drift car, I'm going to keep it under control here for a little bit. Tighter than I thought. It came up faster than I thought it would too. There's a couple guys pretty far up ahead. I'm going to try to catch up to them. Taking it easy and cruising. I see some smoke lingering, which means we are close to these cars in the lead, and I'm trying to figure out who's who. Who are we following right now? There they are. Bonk. Right up the mountainside. That's the same problem I'm gonna have in these cars. Let's party with these two rippers and see how things go. Oh, we've got Kona, and that's Duke. much there. This is the reason you practice a road before you go try to drive on it too. Because otherwise it's incredibly unsafe. Cars transition weird. Oh, the suspension's broken on this one. That's why it's driving so shit. I mean, of course my driving broke it, but that is what it is. Let's see what's up here. Little trailer. And it looks like that's a helipad. That is a helipad. Interesting. We've got just like a little parking area, I guess. Too rowdy here. But otherwise doing kind of okay. Those two in the lead are getting away. Looks like they're doing pretty well. I'll try and find an opportunity to zip past. There's a chance I can actually sight read. And missed my shift. Perfect. That's all we got for that. Cut across the tumbleweeds, use the guardrails. Do whatever we want today, because why not? A little too aggressive. it's called. Looks like a quicker section for the time being. And that doesn't go anywhere. Okay. Alright, let's try and do this now that everything seems to be working. We've got maybe 45 minutes that we can cruise. Baron's starting us off strong with the $20 Super Chat tutorial sponsorship. Thank you very much, my friend. I was just pulling up chat and trying to get things going. We have had a challenging start to this particular live stream, and I'm going to be cutting a lot of it out because there was heaps upon heaps of technical difficulties for reasons couldn't possibly tell you. Just wasn't my day on the tech side. But here we are back again with another live stream. We are jamming out at LA Canyons. I'll give you a quick look at the canyons here if I can. That will be the wrong button. So LA Canyons is a huge open world map that is basically showing you the canyons of Los Angeles area, the Los Angeles crest. We're starting at Mount Lawler. Very cool stuff. And I am in this Scion TC basically. Gonna roll you around through it. So a nice Scion or GT86, whichever you want to call it, VRZ. These are the World Drift Tour 2020 cars. They all make around 800, 900, or 1,000 horsepower. We've also got an S15, a 180SX, a Corvette, and a BMW, as well as an ER34 Skyline. So, pretty cool stuff out on track today. I don't really have much experience with this track, so I don't actually drive well on it at all. I've just been enjoying cruising with the homies a little bit here, but we will attempt to get a little bit of action going on for you guys here on the part of the stream that will actually get left on YouTube. Yeah, it's a pretty cool mod. Playing on this setup is fun. Yeah, if you want to just cruise, that's totally fine. All the info you need to know is in the Discord. Just streamer things, absolutely. Yes, Babyface, I do remember seeing you in a previous stream. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in again. See if we can't get into a couple of accidents here. Wow, that is some interesting lag possibly that we've got going on there. But we'll kick it into third here and see if we can't get. Ooh, I have no idea where those guys are because they're teleporting around, but I think I got past them somehow, so we'll take that. We're gonna go past that accident. Close to the wall. And that's going to be a wall hit. Regain traction out of the sand because it's quite slippery. brake drag into that turn. More e-brake than I prefer to use. But this is definitely a track where less is more. Otherwise you end up yeeting into the wall like that, so gotta pick your poison. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Just narrowly avoiding that wipeout. Gonna pull over for a second. Got a text I need to check. Alright, good times. This has been just a challenging night all around. Family member is sick, and another family member is sick too, so I think I'm the only person who's not succumbed to the zombie plague. It's not COVID, but there's a stomach bug going around, and it probably means it's just a matter of time until I'm feeling wretched as well. But I'm gonna have to cut the stream short a little bit tonight, just so that I can be responsible and help keep the family taken care of, because you know how it is. If you feel awful, it's hard to do very much. And my lady was taking care of another family member who's already feeling awful, and now she's feeling awful too. It's that time of year, I guess. Any game sounds? Yeah, all the game sounds. Thank you for the best wishes. I do appreciate that. We're gonna follow along here behind Sprinks to the degree that we can. Bounce around a little bit. Pistonhead, thank you, my friend. I was so stoked to see you getting back into the podcast creation. I didn't realize that was the second one, and that you had teamed up with Ryan as well. Who in that thumbnail kind of made me think Caleb Quanbeck for a second. Maybe it was the hat and the facial hair, I don't know. Haven't seen Ryan with facial hair before. Just sort of happened. Yeah, man, it's all good. We'll go by Sprinks. Here comes some decent looking windy turns. They may be too fast for me. Tonight, or it was until everything went wrong on the system side. Cloud reviews. Other folks who tune in every week have told me there is car sound, so we're gonna send it as is. The cliff in VR, says Nikko. That sounds miserable. Just driving regularly in VR just kind of throws me for a loop, so actually crashing in VR seems terrifying. Bonk. Oh Yeah, we're keeping it really chill on this stream. Kind of had to after everything went wrong today. I was late because I was taking care of cleaning up after a sick family member, and then now I've got to cut it short due to another sick family member, and on top of that, of course, all the streaming hardware just didn't work. I mean, it's fine. These things happen. Red Box Picnic Area. UK Drifter, what's up, man? Oh, I'm doing okay. We're surviving. Oh no. We are not allowed to go in here. Or are we? Yikes. Oh, your throttle resolution. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, I imagine it's the difference between 8 and 12. So what is that? 4, 8, 12. It should be 30% better. I have not yet tried Furidashi. 300ZX drift cars, they're a little uncommon, and they're heavier than S chassis, but I imagine that they would do fine. They would probably just cost more to build and be a bit less competitive at like a high level due to the body weight, and or just cost more to make competitive if you want to get rid of the body weight. Oh man, I thought I was going to clear that. Okay, well whatever the math is on that, Nikko, is what I think that it would be. Which do I like more, low or high horsepower cars? I am a fan of low to medium horsepower cars. I mean, like when I got into drifting, 400 wheel was a lot of horsepower, 500 was crazy, and that was before Formula Drift had 1,000 horsepower cars as like kind of the standard. So when I say low horsepower, or medium horsepower, it's less than most people I think would imagine. But for me, somewhere in the tune of like 350 wheel is about what I like the best. It's less about the power though, and more about how the cars grip. Pro cars like this that are tuned for tons of traction are pretty difficult to control. They're very twitchy. They don't give you much time to put inputs in, and you have to stay on throttle constantly because as soon as you come off throttle, they'll grip up. And so you'll see the rear is pulling me out of drift a lot, and it's making me do some more throttle inputs than I usually do. In a less gripped up car, it floats a little bit more, and so you have like a wider margin for, not even for error, honestly, just a wider range that you can allow the car to drift at. And so it gives you more options while you're driving. Actually, gear limited here. Some of that toe out, you may find it floats a bit more. That's very true. That is very true. Nikko, here's something to support. Keep those advanced drift tutorials coming in. Yes, I'm working on one right now. I'm going to go through and break down the different initiation techniques. And then, man, I had a tandem tutorial that I had put together the raw footage for, and I I was working with an editor on that, but that seems to have fallen through, so I have to either make that myself, in which case I kind of want to reshoot it instead of doing like a live stream clip, or I at least need to invest the time in editing the footage that we already shot on live stream. So hopefully that is something that can happen soonish, because it was a pretty solid piece of information. But thank you for your support. I do appreciate that. Replays, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, I mean, I'm the main editor for the channel, of course, but I had a couple of videos that were done for me, which was rad. My zero expectations stream. That's just so bad for SEO. But, I mean, that's what it is, obviously. As I'm just goofing off, bobsledding off all the guardrails like in Gran Turismo 2, and 3, and 4, and every Gran Turismo. Well, let's just send it. Yeet! Setup is cool, thank you. SEO is like your search engine optimization. It's YouTuber meta. So if you're trying to have a video that gets a lot of views, or like a live stream that gets discovered by a lot of people who don't already follow your content, there are things you can do that will make it better, and things you can do that will not make it that much better. Used to ride the guardrails in those games all the time. Yeah, man, the bobsled technique is a real thing. SEO, aka clickbait. I mean, this time I just called it what it is. The only thing I lied about, and it wasn't, it's like reverse clickbait, is that I may have given the impression that I would drive good. That was not at all implied or supposed to be implied. I mean, I can drive well, I just am not really, you know, preparing myself for success in any way. Asian Boy PC Specs. I actually have a video on building my PC if you search the channel. It's far easier to say that than to try and repeat them all the time. Oh, the sand is so slippery, it's sketched. Picked up too much speed. Not knowing how this track is supposed to go is really difficult. Now we've got too much ping difference between me and that lead car, so he's going all back to the future on us. Missing my stomach, what's up? We are playing Assetto Corsa for PC with mods. Online multiplayer with the fam. Every Friday around this time I do a live stream. It's almost always involving drifting. It's quite frequently multiplayer. And we just hang out, enjoy some good solo drifts or some good tandem runs depending on the game and the track. And I'm testing out a really powerful car pack on a realistic driving simulator, which means it's pretty challenging on a track that I've never seen before and don't know at all. So, because it's a mountain track and not a circuit where I can actually see the turns coming, it's pretty much guaranteed to involve a lot of crashing, which I'm totally okay with. But you may notice if you check out any of the other content on my channel that I'm actually a pretty decent drifter when I am able to see the turns or know the track. If you have neither of those, then you're almost driving blind, and it's very difficult. Not to mention that these cars are not easy to drive. So I just wanted to make everything as difficult for myself as possible and increase my odds of failure and mistakes to the max, because I'm not worried about like necessarily trying to be perfect on the internet. But with a little bit more controllable cars that I have more seat time in, I'd probably do a heck of a lot better. Happy to see the vid. Cheers. That's kind of where I'm at. I've been wanting to do some Freeroam stuff, and I figured the best way to do it is to just get into it. I'm sure that there's some subset of people that expects like super clean driving and awesome tandems constantly from my channel, because there's a lot of that. But I also am just gonna enjoy trying some new things here, even if it just means only drifting single corners. Oh, got too much angle and I couldn't really do anything to keep from. That's a wall hit. Yep, guardrail. Still confirm that in-game sound is fine, right? You're somebody I know and trust. Open world stuff is dope. Heck yeah. Some perfected connected drifts and awesome tandems on subbing. Right? Like, there's enough of that in the channel. We can goof off. Actually never had game sound? Okay, well fair enough. You're not missing out on much. Assetto Corsa's never had sound that impressed me. There's only a couple of sound mods and sound modders that actually make the game sound good. Although these cars are actually decent. At the start of the stream, open second, there were as many people that were telling me the sound was fine. If I'm getting trolled by people, it's kind of hard to tell. I'm not sweating it because it can't be fixed. I'd have to end the stream, and if I end the stream, I'm not turning it back on tonight. So we're just gonna roll with it. That is the nature of live broadcasting. Sometimes you just have to be flexible and adapt. And if you're watching live content, you need to be prepared for that. Everybody went too wide there. Right? Having no sound is fine. We have sound on every stream too, except for this one. Just doing something different. Keeping it variety. Bouncy, bouncy. We can get to a different part of the track up here. Yeah, it's such a bummer that you can't get AC mods on console, man. I think that this leads to a blocked off area, but I could be wrong. Kind of want to wait and see. Yep. Oh, he's gonna go for it. And that's as far as we go. That's what I thought. We'll fall through the map. Yeah, I did not expect the ground to fall out from under us as well. That's kind of funny. McQuack, thank you. Big facts. I am actually driving and reading chat when I can, but the driving kind of has to take precedence, and that is what the channel is about too. So I will bounce over and chat a little bit when I can, and then I will also keep my eyes on the road, which I clearly need to do more of considering how many wipeouts I've had. If I actually learn a few sections of this road though, I can shred in it and it would be really fun in these cars. Oh no. And we have picked up 2 or 3 Christmas trees at a huge discount after the holidays. Realize that you're screwed long before you hit something, but you can't do anything about it. If only the guy saying that the stream was going to go down in viewers should be here. I mean, it's okay. It's about average for me. I was kind of hoping that it would be a bit more, but with all the technical difficulties and the fact that I'm just not, like, mentally as with it as I'd like to be, like, I'm not gonna gripe about it, but there's like some stuff going on behind the scenes that I've already mentioned a little bit. It's hard to put on a good show and kind of be as present as I usually am, which would be hard anyway, just with this mix of cars and track, let alone all the other stuff going on. But it's good training. It's just like life, you know, you have to make it work, and if you commit to doing a thing, then you just do it to the best of your ability in that moment, and sometimes that's your true 100%, other times it's only your, 70%. Doesn't change what you gotta do. I like this little intro section here. Comes out to the main road. It's quite fun. It flows well, except that I keep going off track right there. That's a double apex turn. Can I make a video on how to make a server in Assetto? I think I just about know enough to do that. I didn't used to do my own servers. It was just something I didn't have time to learn, in addition to all the other stuff that I was trying to do. But I make my own now. I use Elite Game servers, though they're a paid service, so I don't have a tutorial that I could make yet, because I just don't have to do this on making a free server using a computer that you own. But I could make a tutorial on how to set up Assetto Corsa using Elite Game servers. I guess I could toss my affiliate code with them in, because I have one. I don't think I've ever told anybody. But it also, it costs a couple of dollars if you're going to use them. So that may not be something that you guys actually care about. I don't know. This is one of those streams you slowly drift off to sleep to. Yeah, man. We're just relaxing. I wish that I was able to drive like crazy good on this particular track with this particular car, but We are chilling. Doing what we do. I'm a low-key drifter anyway, like precision, but my drifting is like relaxing compared to a lot of people. The drop. This is a GT86. It's a pretty slick looking car, I gotta say. Listen, heads, we should set up another podcast. I've stumbled into a few more big ticket guests, so I can try and sandwich you in there. Right on. One of these days, I'll be a big ticket guest. We'll see. Gotta go. Alrighty. Well, thank you for tuning in, and hopefully I'll catch you next week as well. Cheers, and hi, Mom. My episode was top 10? Really? If you guys haven't seen, check out the Piston Head podcast. My buddy there, he does a podcast, obviously, or Piston Head Productions, and he does a podcast, and I've had the honor of being a guest on there twice. It was kind of cool too, because it was a year apart, and that first year I think I had maybe 600 subscribers on YouTube, and the second year I had, I don't know, 15,000 or something, or maybe 10,000, I don't know. Either way, the channel had kind of blown up in between those two talks, and so it was neat to see. Try not to ram into Skyline here. The difference in how that had gone. Popped up unrecommended. Cool, well, thank you for checking it out. So this stream is not exactly what my usual content looks like, but I do drifting in real life, and I make videos about that. I do drifting in the simulator, and I make videos about that as well. I play Initial D. Just basically, if it involves drifting and driving, this is the channel where it either has happened or will happen. I do a live stream every Friday and edited videos through the week as well. Today a little bit less drifty, a little bit more cruisy, but I mean, we can drift as well. It's just a matter of getting the timing set up for these tracks, because this is like a weird canyon road that I don't know, so it's pretty hard to do. And I'm not using my car at full turbo, which makes it very difficult. It's just a hard car to drive. Yeah, we're just going to crash constantly. But that's pretty much what we're doing tonight, is driving this very expansive, very cool mod, checking it out for the first time, wiping out every other turn. Fifth gear, I wanted third. That time I actually needed a long gear. Terrible. At some point, I do want to hit up Akina on a drifting stream. I've done a Touge challenge series that took place at Akina. I think I did pretty decent on that particular round. Just have to do yearly checkups. I think that's a good call. Got any tips for new drifters? Yeah. Like always, thank you for tuning in as well. Gosh. The main thing for drifters. I have a video on it called How to Drift Without Spinning Out. It does assume that you understand the basic terminology like clutch kick and e-brake pull, feint, or like the initiation where you go in this direction first and then you go around the turn like that, for example. But the main thing would be, like, don't try to learn on a car like this on a track like this. This is the opposite of what I would recommend. Learn on a track that's got great visibility where you can see all the turns. He's been going off track on this turn again for like the 20th time. About balancing the car, so you need to get to where you can put the car into a drift and like control it, right? Do your ball or parking job or whatever. Doesn't have to be like that controlled, but point being, like, you need to get to where you can just drift around even if you're not doing anything like crazy. But putting the car into a drift like this, catching the drift like that, and my video really goes into detail to break it down, so most people have already seen it and it would probably be boring, but essentially you've got three phases. You initiate by unsettling the car, then you catch the drift so that the car stops while it's like sideways, and then you use the throttle to maintain that until you are done drifting a turn or until you link it in the other direction. So that's kind of the gist. Refined Turbo says, I have at least 20 hours with drifting with paddles, and I can say it's fun, but most scenarios I find myself needing to shift, and it's difficult. Yeah, paddles on the wheel especially, because the wheel's always moving, would be really hard to deal with the shifting. I actually have paddles on this wheel, but I've taken them off, so all the stuff is a little like nub. Because otherwise I feel like I'd slice my fingers off on the live stream, and that would be a sad time. I'll show you guys some real life drifting footage, which is always fun. We're on board with me in my car at a small local kart track in my area. All second gear stuff. It's a 20-foot wide track. Once you put the car sideways, you only have like 3 feet on either side, so very technical stuff. Just a fun little place. Mad Hacks, I presently do have a V8 in the car. I've driven almost all the motor options out there that you can find in the States. I haven't driven a rotary sideways. I haven't driven a Barra motor or a Ford V8, but I've driven like JZs, RBs, SRs, LSs. Fun times. I don't really have a huge preference. It's just what I've got at the moment, because it's, once you have one set up, I think a V8 is a very affordable motor to drive. You don't have to push it very hard. There's less complexity because there's no turbo systems, so there's less that can break. I feel like it really exemplifies the simple seat time concept. Godland, what is up? Привет. McQuack says, I only use my paddles now for the extra gears in truck sims. That's cool. I may have to get into a truck sim. I think I'll give you guys a little heads up about some stuff that I want to do in the future. So I'd actually like to do this track, but instead of having it be just like crazy 1,000 horsepower cars, I want to do a big mix, which like downloading the content for it would be annoying for you guys who are drivers, but I want to put like a tour bus, an 18-wheeler, and like a Honda Prelude, and you know, some old school 8.6s and 240s, and just like a big mix of vehicles. Maybe a transit van. Granted, the people who get those may or may not enjoy it. I would think it was fun to drive a big semi on this road, because why not? But it'd be something different. Yeah, I got interested in the concept of truck simulators, and I watched a couple of like live streamers who were doing truck sim. A part of me is still like, I haven't actually given it a chance. I haven't tried it, so it's hard to say. But I just wonder, like, where's the allure of that? Maybe it's me as like a racer. I want to go fast. I want to have intense, adrenaline, action-packed, or just fun times. I do enjoy just getting zen and going on a long cruise. Like, honestly, I could see myself putting on similar music to what we have on now, like some good lo-fi beats, and just cruising the canyons offline. I could totally see me doing that. And just like zoning out and having a great time. It was kind of one of the things I had in mind for this stream, but these cars are so fast. I'd have to put slow cars on this map. And I'm not sure how people would react to that, because like, it's a fast track. If I put normal cars on here, it's not going to be driftable in a lot of places. And so like, the channel's kind of about drifting and not having drifting, like not having a good match, having 300 horsepower cars on these like fourth gear corners. Some of them just seems like I should like tell people beforehand so that you can manage your expectations. I wouldn't want to be like, hey, we're doing open world, and then it's just a horrible fit between slow cars and fast track. I'll tell you in advance so that the people who really want to drive that or who don't care can come out sure. If KameTrick was taken, what would my handle be? Dr. Drift Respect. Yeah, that's what it would be. Yeah, Pista Head gets it. I actually kind of want to make like a parody and do that anyway. I think that would be fun, but see, this stuff I've actually thought about before. It's just not stuff I've acted upon. But now it's on the stream, and so we know it's me. If somebody else comes out with it, you're gonna be able to say nope. That's just a rip. That was somebody watching my stream. Oh man, Jacob's about it. It needs to happen, huh? Oh god. I'll have to shave beard. Oh gosh. Too much fun, guys. Farsighter, I saw your bit about driving the AE86 drift. You mentioned it didn't drift like the 860 drove. Any setups on a suggestion on a setup and ready to go down there for drifting 86? I think the World Drift Tour Street AE86 is pretty good. It actually is easier to drift from a power standpoint, but my gripe with the Kunos 86, like the official drift, Japanese drift spec 86, was that it wasn't stable enough mid-drift. It always felt like you just couldn't trust the car to just stay put at angle. And in real cars, generally once they're done like picking up angle and you're just like cruising around the turn on throttle, not doing a whole lot of steering inputs, usually the cars are very stable at that point. It's the most stable a drift car is when it's drifting, basically. And so I feel like the WDT Street 86 does that correctly. It drives right in terms of the way it transitions and stuff. It just feels like it's either got really tiny tires or it's got more power than an actual 86 has, unless you tune it a bunch. Like a turbo 86 would probably be pretty close, but a naturally aspirated like 16 valve, man, they're gutless, and it would not be very fun to drive basically compared to the WDT Street one. So I can understand why they did it, and or if you were running like 165 14-inch tires maybe, but I think that's my pick for 86s. Can't wait until events open back up. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward forward to this coming year and hopefully actually getting some driving. Hopefully the world can get COVID under control a little bit better and there can be less risk or perceived risk, depending on what side of that drama you're on. If you look on one of the Adam LZ Ebisu Drift vids, you can see a KameTrick sticker on one of them. Yep, you can. If you look at a Noriyaro video where he is at a parking garage in Tokyo, you can see another guy, a Japanese gentleman, repping the KameTrick logo as well. He's in Drift Team Spirant, or he was. I've actually got an honorary Spirant sticker as well. So, good spot there for seeing it on an Adam LZ video, because I don't really talk about that. But if you go search through, you can find evidence of the KameTrick crew, the World Drift Friends, even if they're not like on like a proper drift team or anything like that for KameTrick. It's still a group of people that love cars, love drifting, and you know, we all have our own little groups that we run with in person, but the love for cars and the love for drifting extends beyond that, and that's kind of what it's about. It's basically just saying like, I'm one of the good guys, I'm one of the drifters, and I'm gonna help any other drifter out that I can, as long as they too are just one of the like not assholes, basically, because there's not many. There's a lot more drama on the internet than there actually is at these car events, but it's just fun to see it around and see people like reflecting that mindset. When the border opens up, I'm making a trip down this year. Yes. When you have some potentials in mind, let me know. Of course, I've got the family situation and the work stuff and goodness knows what else, so the odds that we could actually link up might be kind of slim, but we'll see. We'll see. Agent says was meant to be going to Mandela Park for drift games until COVID. Oh, so sad. It's very true. Doing donuts on the helipad, very nice. Oh, here's Sportsline Yamanashi, some 8.6 action. We were just talking about 8.6s. I shot this with a Potato that had a viewfinder, a Sony CyberShot like 2, or maybe an original CyberShot. I think it had like a 4 gigabyte memory card or something. Just come crash on the couch. Yeah, that can happen. If you actually want to swing by my area, by all means, that we can make happen. Raphael, can I join AC servers if I have a creaked version of the game? I don't think so. Granted, I don't have a creaked version of the game, so I've never tried it. But from what I've heard, I don't get the impression that you can. I mean, you could try. Like, just go try it and see if it lets you. It's hard for me to say because I'm not going to go like pirate a game that I bought just so I can answer that question. I don't mind that you ask. People ask me that a lot. I don't know. For some reason, a lot of people ask me and nobody actually tries it and tells me whether it worked for them or not. Speaking of pirates, AC is booming on Russian Creek forums, top thread on 3 sites. I love that everybody's calling it Creek just because of a typo I did. That's fun. Creek AC. It is pretty cheap though. Like, you can obtain Assetto and Japanese Pack DLC for what, like $10? When is the next event at OMC? Full Lock has not published their schedule, and they're probably not going to publish it until March. They always release it like 2 weeks before the first event and don't tell you when the next event's going to be until 2 weeks before it. But I hope that this year we can get more advance notice about that. The community always asks for it every single year, and it's only a matter of time until they actually deliver on it. It's just not been something we've seen yet. There's Goldberg emulator for the XWC. Do you think someone can drift in real life if he's really good at Assetto? I do. Yeah. The most disappointing thing about that for for people, like what's going to catch them off guard is the fact that your skill behind the wheel will transfer over. Your shifting, your e-braking, your pedal control, your hands, all that's going to work great. What's not is you're not going to be in a good car. You're not going to be in a fast car, and you're not going to be in a well-sorted car. So what happens, what I'm curious to see is people will get like very confident in sim, and then they'll go out and they'll buy a 240SX that barely runs for $1,000 and makes 102 horsepower, and then they're going to be like, why do I suck? Because like I feel like I should know what I'm doing, but I'm just not able to do what I do in Assetto when I'm driving 800 horsepower ABC and tandem cars, or even the WDT Street cars. I think that's the biggest difference, disappointingly, is the fact that like it's so expensive, and you're probably not going to have a car that's nearly as sorted as what you drive in your simulator for several years. It takes a while to build them, unless you just have tons of money. But you can, because I don't have tons of money. I never have, and basically I would just, do $1,000 of mods a year or something like that. And then 5 years later, I was like, hey, the car drive's kind of all right now. And then I got to where I was working a better job, and I could do $2,000 or $3,000 of mods for a couple years. And then I was like, yeah, the car's driving good now. So you just take your time and make the best platform for yourself that you can. But that's probably the biggest difference. Baron asked, did I build my car mostly in the US or Japan? So my car is a USDM car, and it is homegrown here in America. In Japan, I was driving like a pre-built car. It was actually a car that a buddy had, and so I didn't drive it on all the courses because I was trying to be respectful and not wipe out somebody else's car. But in Japan, I have driven a Lorel, like two 180s, an S13, and an R32 GTST. This is the R32 GTST actually in Ebisu North course in the nighttime. And this was also the moment when I realized that my GoPro Hero session sucks at night. And if I had taken the GoPro Hero 4, which is from like the same period of time, but it is noticeably better at night. And I hadn't really done much night drifting up until that point to realize it. So I was a little bummed out when I reviewed the footage after I finished my trip that wasn't more clear, because I could see more than what it looks like there. Would a Nissan station wagon drift well? That's a good question. I'd like to try it. Rear weight means big swings. That is true. So a bigger car or a heavier car, or both, it's going to transition slower. It's going to probably float a little farther, and so it drives a bit different. Like 240s are relatively snappy, not as snappy as something tiny like a Miata, but they're one of the lighter, more compact cars. And so like a 4-door or a wagon, it would just be a slower transition. You might actually see it here in this teal car that's Brandon Wicknick. Unfortunately, that car just went to the junkyard. I guess you can't really tell on that clip. Really has to do with where the center balance is. Yes, it does. There's this thing called polar moment of inertia, and then center balance as well. It's essentially like how quickly something can change directions. So imagine if you had like a dumbbell in your hand, and you had a weight here and a weight here, and you use just your wrist to spin it around. If there was 5 pounds on that, you could do that fairly quickly. And then imagine if instead the bar didn't weigh anymore, but was like way longer. Then it would be like it would have all this extra momentum, you'd have less leverage, and so changing directions would take longer. It would take more muscle to do. That's essentially what it's like having a bigger car, and especially if you have the weight out near the ends, because it's long and stuff like that. So cars that are balanced well are a little bit more nimble, a little bit more agile, and able to change directions, and cars that just aren't, or have all the weight on one end, sometimes are a little awkward in terms of how they transition. Just can't spell it. Truth. But yeah, most Go drift cars that I have seen and that I've driven, they transition pretty close to where the driver is. Gonna switch maps? We are. Yep. It's gonna be time to roll into tandem mode. Normally this is where we would bounce over to the Twitch stream, but I think I'm probably gonna have to call it because of family reasons, unfortunately. I got a couple of texts during this stream, and it seems like I am needed. So I gotta go be a hero for the fam, which is, you know, it's life, it happens. I'm a little bummed because I always look forward to the Friday streams, and I've had a great time driving and hanging out with you guys here on LA Canyons. But I have to say I'm gonna miss the close door-to-door tandems that we usually get on our circuit tracks with our World Drift Tour street cars that you guys know I love so much. So we'll catch it next time. But Sprankles, to answer your question, and for anybody else, our drivers especially, I will be changing the track over, so I just won't be able to be on track with you. We are going to double check my Discord, HT Drift Park, which sucks because that's one of my favorite tracks and I want to drive it. But I'll change it, and then I'll post the password for it in the KT announcements channel as always. And we'll see you next time. So I'll give you guys a couple of minutes here to do whatever you're gonna do. Hit like if you haven't, subscribe if you haven't, grab a snack, and then run over to our second map. It's gonna be a good time. We will figure out where I have all my data for that. There we go. Still got it. Sprankle's got one question. Could we do Tomato Sportland in the future? Do you mean Mega Tomato with all the bazillion tracks, or do you mean just Tomato Sportsland? I think there may be both of those. But yeah, I mean, we can. Either way. It's kind of an open world circuit. In a way. Chat here, I'm just pulling in and loading up the info for our servers. We're going to be running both servers for this. That is the sound of config files dropping in. We'll hear that one more time here. Buckware 86. Have a good one. Hope to one day meet you at OMC. Yeah, I should be out there. If we have, and we probably will have, a event in March. I may not be at that event. I may not be driving at that event, but most likely by April timing, I'll be out and about. I don't always go to the first event for a number of reasons. It's really cold usually. The weather tends to be a bit less reliable, and also drivers. Folks, especially the folks who don't have sims, are super rusty, and I am totally fine to let them get warmed up and get all that out of their system without sharing track. It just makes my life easier later. So let's see here. Alright, we've got a new track up, so that's good. I'm going to drop the password in, and yeah, we'll call it a night. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for trying to help me through some of these audio issues, and just tolerating the fact that we had a difficult, technical stream tonight. Unfortunately, a lot of these issues, the way that my encoder seems to work, I'd have to end the stream and then restart it, and I really didn't want to So, just yeah, thanks for rolling with me. We'll be back next week, and I will see you through the week as well for edited videos. We've got more Initial D content coming out, and I've got some Assetto Corsa tutorials in the works for the drivers. So we'll see you next time. Give your time to set up a call. Yeah, man, I need to get back to you anyway. I know that you already did your live streams, and when I saw them, I felt bad because I was like, I meant to try and get back with you, but it's just been wild times. I've got a new website that I'm designing, launching in like a week or two, and it's crunch time. And then the fam having some stomach bugs going around is not making my life easier. You found Google? Fair enough. All right then. Appreciate that, the patience, the understanding. And as always, everybody tuning in, being rad.